Attorney Menchaca, what are the main requirements to apply for an EB5 visa?
There are three main requirements. Number one, you need to invest, and that's either $1 million or $500,000 in the United States. Number two, your investment needs to create 10 jobs in the United States. And number three, the money that you invest for the EB5 needs to come from a lawful source.
Okay, so let's go back to the investment part. $500,000 and $1 million are a big difference.
Sure, of course.
So how much is it that we have to invest?
So that's going to depend on the geographic area in the United States that you choose to invest in. Let me explain. The law, the EB5 law, basically says this. Look, the unemployment level in the United States is relatively low, very low. And if you invest in an area where the government doesn't feel like it needs more jobs, like because the unemployment rate is already very low, then you need to invest $1 million. On the other hand, if you choose to invest in an area where the unemployment rate is higher, then the government says, you know what, in that case, you're creating jobs where I need help, so I'm gonna let you apply for the EB5 with a discount. Instead of $1 million, you only need to invest $500,000.
Okay, so then how would I know in what area to invest?
So you're gonna decide where you want to invest. And then when you come to me, I'm gonna say, okay, tell me exactly where you're gonna invest. And you're gonna say, I'm gonna put my factory or my investment in my business in a certain location. And I'll look up that location and I'll tell you whether you qualify for the $1 million or for the $500,000 investment.
And what is it that I will be investing my money in?
So it depends on a variety of factors, but let me tell you what most people do. Over 90% of all the people that apply for the EB5 invest in a EB5 regional center. Okay, that's a fancy name for an investment fund that manages the money of the people who are applying for the EB5 visa.
Okay, and how does this investment fund work?
So traditionally they work something like this. There's over 1,000 of these funds, right? So I'm just going to give you a general idea of how they work. So a regional center will say, look, I am developing an apartment complex in some city in the United States or a hotel or something, right? They have a project and they'll say, invest your money in my project. I'm going to manage your money. I'm going to put your money to work. And that money is going to create jobs in the building of my hotel or in the operations of the hotel or the apartment complex. And those jobs are going to be credited to you. That way you can tell the government you've invested and created the required number of jobs.
How do we find these investment funds?
Very simple. One of the things I do for all of my clients when they hire me is I give them a complete list of all the regional centers that are available out there, and my clients can check them out and pick the one that's best for them.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. You have to invest, you have to create 10 jobs. What's the next requirement?
The third main requirement is that the money you're investing for the EB5 come from a lawful source. So we need to be able to prove that. I'll give you an example. Suppose you earned your money through being employed at a company, okay? And you have a nice salary and you've been saving your money and now you have $1 million in the bank. So we would need to prove that you've had this job, that you've been saving your money, and that money's accumulated to $1 million. And now you would then transfer that money into the EB5 Regional Center, and we would document how you made it and that you transferred it to the EB5, and that would do the trick.
So I fully understand now. Is there any other requirements that the EB5 meets?
Sure, there are a series of other minor requirements that I go through my clients on a case-by-case basis depending on what applies to them and what doesn't. But those are the main ones. Invest, create jobs, and prove that the money you're investing comes from a lawful source.
Thank you, Attorney Menchaca.
My pleasure.